Good morning, or whatever it is wherever you are. I know I had monuments on here. Did I tie it to... we just put an option under here. And I guess they're just not in this range right now. Yeah, they show up there. Okay, so other things we want to sort of finish that out. We're going to be including that in snaps. There's going to be a lot of snaps. And, that almost makes me wonder if I should make it only monuments. That snap. Or maybe I should only have one kind of data at a time. Okay, so we should probably default that on for now. So we're going to be working with it. Okay, that works. So I guess we need to snap, and we need to say, like, if you're in snap range, then we're going to count that as jump to that place. Okay, spans. Okay, so snaps. Okay, that's just 2 a time. Monuments. Actually, monument in here? No, monuments going to be whole data. Oh, there's a date. Okay, so then we filter, so it's that, and then it's going to be like lists, dot append, and how we do this append might actually affect the priority order? No, because it'll be closest. This dot map dot date. Oh, we don't have model data here. Timeline to screen time. Oh, you viewer model. Okay, not view. Okay, this gets called multiple times. All of these have access to a full model. So I guess that would go here. Right now we don't need a full model. We need... This is context. Oh, but what is a model monuments? We've got a current monuments, and is that a function? It's a remote data. So we do have to consider the possibility that it's not there. Do we have a let here? We don't currently have a let here. You are from a model. Maybe those are used elsewhere? Oh, they're used directly here. Okay, then timeline screen to time has to get that. Route data list monument. So it's remote data to maybe map with default and empty list. So let's be list to append. Okay, one parenthesis, two parenthesis. Okay, let's just put it in the snap list. Yeah, I kind of feel that. And they're all over there. I might need to end up extracting the snap stuff to do the jump. Did I separate them? Not really. I know we had to look at snaps on, but we were not keeping any metadata about snaps. We're just saying we snap it to that time. Scrubbing, timeline move, timeline grab. I see we'd only want to do this on, it's not even move. Timeline down. Oh, we're on a timeline down that didn't really drag us. So I can keep some extra data with each point, with each snap. Or I can sort of repeat that process, repeat some of that process. I guess that'd actually be in timeline drag. Timeline up. What's the event? Or do those move for their thing? I guess did we put it under leave? Oh, it might be under window up. I guess enter would end up taking care of some of it. Okay, so that gives us a new drag state. Model.drag. So if it's released, do nothing. Well, I guess it was moving the endpoint as it went, so that would just kind of leave it as is. So window up does it. Window enter does it. Okay, so those are the points at which we can release a drag. We would then want to see if it was a click or a drag. Do we just not support that right now? We have some click detection in there. So if we're already dragging timeline down, that puts us into dragging mode. Maybe right now it works based if there's just no movement. What are we doing that makes that not set range? It's not duration. Oh, that just does scrub time. This does timeline drag. Okay. But scrub time gets used from here. Timeline grab. So right now it's simply the fact that we are not that we're not getting any other event. We might want to leave a little bit of room for um, just just wiggle from pressing the button and whatnot. So that means our drag function so if we go straight to released, we don't do anything. We have dragging versus scrubbing. So if the... So I guess we would... This decides we are dragging. That starts the drag, but it's going to be at 0 time, effectively. Right. Scrub time in the dragging state. Okay, that's the only place we enter dragging. Then the other events would just come from, like, move. No, it's scrub time. Window move. I can either be in dragging or scrubbing or released. So probably we should only run this full thing of dragging if we've exceeded the difference of x. And this has ordered it for us. Let's see, and the if we're just scrubbing version of this. Okay, we got our line, we did the time, and we're basically skipping this function. And, of course, it's a maybe. Probably because we set this thing up to take a maybe because the map normally has a maybe range. Oh, would we just... No, we don't want to set it to nothing because we don't want to change it at all. Because I think that would actually set it to no range. If we made this nothing in that case. So that's going to be the easiest place to access this. So we already called this range. Length. Oh, we have to turn them into millis again. Which means we're not doing multiple operations with these things. Might come back to this. And you actually are using the POSIX time still. Oh no, this would be T minus S. S minus T. I almost want, I kind of want to do this in pixels. actually. So we got an x. We converted the x to a time. I don't know if I have the other function. I don't think so. Time to screen. They don't think this needs to snap? So we don't need the monuments. You're going to be POSIX to float. Okay, so min and max are probably still relevant. Maybe range is the wrong word here. Alright, so this is looking to make milliseconds, and then this is all snap stuff. So we need to reverse this process. So I guess logic would call this milliseconds? No, because this is a screen. This is no, this is actual time. If we need to do work with it, then we have to say that milliseconds is time dot millis to POSIX. No. POSIX to millis of time. And x equals... Well, it's just going to be x, isn't it? Alright. So we're currently assuming left edge. So the screen coordinate has basis 0. So by default, I think reverse the process. No, I think we... This is time to screen. So yes, ms minus... I think that this operator doesn't work out the way you want it. See, so this was doing floating point. We don't need that. So you're going to be... I mean, once again, divide. I don't know it's going to work out the way we want it. Wait, so this is milliseconds. That is... Yeah, divide by the time range, and then we're going to multiply by screen range. And clamp that to 0, or to float, I guess. is the type check. Well, that is reserved in Elms. We forgot our equal sign as usual. Extra parenthesis. Argument is int. Okay, so we have to do to float for a second, messing with all the screen space stuff. Oh, no. I'd roughly take where the round was. So I don't know if it works, but it type checks. Okay. So that's millis. We already have an X. This is... I guess model.time is our only... version of this right now, huh? Display timeline. Map time is a maybe POSIX. So we have to deal with that. That's time. That's X. When we have an X. I almost need to do this let block if that's the case, but... maybe. If we have no current position... then it's going to default to that. I just feel like this is getting very large for a simple test. I mean, I guess I could bury some of it in some kind of conversion function. This is kind of what Snap was doing. Oh, we converted the range into world coordinates, or into time coordinates. Does that help? Oh, hey, this is the drag position, not the time position. Oh my gosh. So what is this? Oh, but this is in time space. So maybe we do a thing like snap. Or just convert it. That means we need to figure out all the factors that go into that here. So it's like we want to rescale a distance in there. So screen range, line dot width, range. That's that timeline range. You can make a function for that. I would have to convert them in max multiple times. Right, are you using this more than once? Okay, so you're using min and max there. And you're using it for the rescale of that. We want to convert. We want to know if that length of milliseconds is less than or greater than the 4 pixels in, to use an example, of drag distance. So maybe what we really need, let's see, so this is snap range is indeed a pixel range to a time range. But it needs like all that stuff. So we could use this here. We have to do all the other conversions anyway. This is going to give us... What is this? It's like a screen distance to a time distance. We're not doing a POSIX. Okay, so min, max, range. We make this length, and this is just what we return. Okay, so what we actually want is we have a maybe length. No, this is not a maybe length. That was maybe x. We have pulled out line here. So then we can say, wait, no, this is like 4 again, or something. And then we say, we do just this. So if we're actually dragging something, it's not really noticeable. We'll see if that distance makes sense. But now we kind of have to redo. Oh, well, we don't need this. I don't think we need that function at all, actually. But a bunch of stuff like this is what we're going to need is if we release this might actually go into the drag preview as well, because I wanted to track that separately, which case we just see if are we tracking a drag. So that might actually make more sense. Because this is basically going to have to, well, or this sets up our detection for small drags. Well, it's only small drags. It's not really separating things. That means we'd have to have a state where we're doing a drag preview or a state where we aren't. Although I guess we could always drag preview and then just not actually do it if it ends up being too small. This also ended up being unnecessary. Oh no, because we used the TS here. So if we have a dragging mode, we will know whether we were in dragging mode well, it's just any dragging is going to be in that uncommitted mode. So then it would be whether we had like started that or not, I guess. Or we just repeat all of this to say are we under a drag? Because we always go into dragging mode when we click. I mean, I could have a drag start, and then that would do the length checks to see if we should start. Which would be duplicating pretty much all that logic once again. There's the one weird thing about this is if we start doing this, then come back here, we actually don't update it until we get all the way over there. So maybe that makes sense. That starts being kind of a big change in and of itself. What do we have right now? We passed the monument, so we could snap, which is going to touch a whole bunch of stuff. So did you end up with drag? End up with drag. So we've got dragging and scrubbing. This would be like starting. And that is going to have compiler implications and everything that's doing a switch. Oh. Uh, Why does they put the file at the bottom? And that actually doesn't help. Map UI. Guess that's you. This is going to look very similar, unfortunately. Okay, that was the only switch we did. Okay, dragging. Not the only one. So a down is going to do a drag start. A drag start is going to work like scrubbing until this distance gets large enough. So I actually don't think you need the range, because you're just going to change the mode and let the other one worry about it, I think. Because that saves us having to do this. So we do have to do that. We can actually just do this as an abs, huh? Don't necessarily need to separate these then. Length, delta. Model at scrub time regardless. So yeah, we don't need to update the model. Okay, so if it's less than delta, we just scrub. If it's greater than delta, drag equals dragging index start. We still need time. What's needed for that? Wait, is this from time? Oh, yeah, if you got time to start. And then you don't actually need to do the length calculation anymore because we've entered the mode. And then we've got this ST thing left over a little bit. Okay, we can click. There's too much movement. Be a little bit sloppy about it, and then once we're in drag, we've got full range. Okay, so all of these do the timeline switch, except released. Oh, but I have to get the index out in order to do the timeline switch. So I can't extract that. Case of timeline. And maybe I can make a function to do something with it, but I don't know any good way to do that. And I could do a thing on maybe that. Well, what? Looked up the timeline for you if it was any case that had an index? that switched off of the thing and then said, okay, here, if it was something, then here's your index and start. But no, we also care about what mode we're in. Okay, well that does give us a state for started to drag or not. So what we want to do is if we say we release and the state was drag start. Now complication here is we're just passing down the new state to the model, not the we then have no concept of the old state. So I might need like a separate function for that sort of we released it moment. And then we switch off of what it was and ignore everything. Well, if it was drag start, we do a monument snap check to see if we hit something. Alright, so drag has so far been in here. Do we really need all this? Might need bits of it. Might need some of the framing. Okay, so if it was drag start, we do something. If it was any other case, oh, that was generating our command. I don't think this should just need to generate commands. Might just convenience. Can you generate commands? It might be convenience, but if we have to pop leaflet, now this would need to generate a command. In any other case, we should definitely be doing a model drag equals released. X model. I'm not sure if this goes in command position or not. Nothing. Well, we still have this, I guess. We need to know what it was. So if it's there, then we have to do the whole snap check. Is all we need from that? The distance? So delta, well, that's the delta of these. What we get before with our range, which is, that works, because it doesn't use length. And length here, drag start implies it's not that big apart. There is the start position versus release position thing. Maybe start position? In which case, do we even need X? I mean, maybe if some other things pass down to regular drag? Then they just pass X, right? I mean, I'm going to end up doing that. Alright, it says command message. Guess we're not concerned about those. We're concerned about this, and then... Snaps equals... Monuments. I don't have to append this whole thing anymore. We have a model here. So that's the list. And MS was the start position. And snap range. And then you said if empty. Oh, but in this case, we don't just need the distance. We need the, we need to actually know which one. So, I guess we can't just do this map here. List dot is empty. Just a standard. Which, do we need to do anything else with this? I mean, the other events will have kind of set it up. Oh, then we have to choose the closest one. Which there generally shouldn't be many. But we've got full monuments here. Oh, and I see you had a default. And I need to have a actual monument as the result. Oh, God. So how do I give a default value for the fold? I mean, I guess it could be I guess I could make it a maybe that's even more. It's kind of its own little pain. We could do a case off of empty list and make the first entry the default. And it's guaranteed to be a non-empty list. So we actually need it as the coordinates. Yeah, this will cover anything. Because then we can have this be the default value. And probably it's the only one. However, we have to have that. That's a little bit weird. We're using the shorthand here. Candidate. Candidate, is what we use. Okay, this is not just a time. This almost has to be an let block itself. So this gives us a, or in the case where the left is not empty, this should be giving us a definite monument, which has an X and a Y. It's not going to work right now. And what do we... What do we do for jumping to positions? So if we click on one of our object search results, too many events. Maybe in the route stuff? Coordinate route? That's XYZ. Set view from route. Model center equals. And a command of leaflet. There must be a different... Check default center update. Okay. There has to be a different way we do this. Focus point. Oh, maybe set view does the zoom and focus point only does XY. Oh, so actually do need XY separate. Do we have a helper for this? We have focus location. That's a browse location. Oh, that's the only place we use that. Okay. So that actually wouldn't just send a command. Would that just turn into this? Turn into the command? No, you are fine. Leaflet dot focus location. Focus must be focus point. Candidate. Oh, I didn't. I thought I changed you. This is actually model.monuments. It's supposed to be current monuments. Well, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, because we're not calling the function. Released. So this there used to do a drag. If it was held, then we just make sure it's released. Oh, then we continue dragging. So that's actually fine. He did a final drag on that position, so it's possible that... Right, these are both release situations. Now, if we enter in the off state, we actually don't want to do a final position update. So I guess we can just... It's okay to lose that last X if we just get nut button. Okay. Okay, we're not at a particularly useful zoom right now. But we can, in fact, jump to them. And actually, that takes care of that. So I think other stuff we want to... That kind of needs to be fixed. To a certain extent, I want to work on making it usable. I think uncommitted drags... And it kind of fall under the performance umbrella, too. But I think that means dragging has to have the range in it. So this was the start position. Or we just don't set the range, because we can infer we were setting the range, we could infer it from here. We just have to do some extra stuff to get that information down to rendering. It might end up being convenient to put it in there, but we'll see. So, map UI. Timeline drag. While we are dragging, we actually wouldn't do this. Oh, that actually means we wouldn't scrub time at all. Interesting. And then when we go to render a timeline, we would need our drag state. Oh, we got model, got drag that far. And that goes to display timeline, display time control. Time control. You have drag. The individual lines do not, and that's background stuff technically. What do you use drag for? Oh, you don't anymore. That used to be for events. Well, we need it now. Okay, so we've got a min and a max. We've got a value. We've got a hovering. Oh, did I move the range? Into display arcs? Monuments, chart, line.time range. Huh. Can I actually do that the timeline return? Or like sort of temporarily replace it? And we could say if you even know you know the index by way of line. So it could be done here. Okay, so that time range was has been a very simple thing. Array.get index, model.time selections, array.get index. So that's the same, and we could deal with the override outside of here. So it's a full model. does have the index. But we have to case on drag. It's only dragging that we care about. Everything else is going to be default case. And you still have the index check. Okay, if it is, then we have the code we just removed. Okay, well, because there's nothing actually here. Yeah, we removed it. So it's going to be a little bit of this stuff. Oh, we're actually making line here. It's the time. Oh, this is taking from an X. But this is just going to be, let me get the timeline. Maybe dragging does have to have a last drag position. Because we're not otherwise recording that anywhere. And then we still have this range check. It was control insert. All right, who cares about that? Well, you just cared about that. Map UI. Dragging index start, and I guess we're gonna do this conversion. Okay, well, it's nicely encapsulated, I guess. Wait. I pasted this in the wrong spot. Was I in Map UI when I did this? Okay. Alright, so we need to... We do need to convert them. I don't necessarily need the ST there, but it's there. And it is start. It is time. That's a just... yeah, this gets us a maybe. If it's equal to index, then it is just this. Which means we kind of don't necessarily need a let here. If we inline this. Now, I don't know if this is going to have any side effects from other things using the timeline functions. So, you know, such as to build up the further timelines and whatnot. Okay, so we did get some movement there before we committed to this, and we're not... I wouldn't say we're properly updating our range either. Huh. Are we updating our range ever? No, we were counting on the incremental updates to do it. So we have to do more when we release. Still, the preview is not working. Are we doing something that is constantly resetting our dragging status? Oh, you need to update yourself, sir. You are actually going to not care about this. It's for other people paying attention. I guess it'll be more concise if we do it this way. Huh? Oh, we didn't have to do this because we weren't actually touching it before. Okay, so that's an interactive preview. It doesn't stick. So when we release... so that was only drag start, so now we have a new case. Which does You mean the code we removed prematurely? Oh, did I remove the egg? I did completely remove the explicit from this, but you've got it built in. No, not that just yet. We did. That's line X. Okay. But we just straight up have time here. I almost build the range in at this point. Well, we have to keep track of start and current. I guess you could always do it start and current range. It's 'cause there's a space here. There's our indent was a little bit different. $14.06. Ah, old code. Okay, preview. And lock. Okay, so do we want that to set time to the end? Oh. Oh, we didn't release drag. Which is the whole thing that we did in all of these cases. Okay, it's been released. We should probably clamp to the time. So T start scrub time. We'd have to get into the model map time. Or we just do as we currently are and say it's just always at the end. Which would be that end. All right, we're not seeing any interactive effect. Yeah, the top part isn't really changing at all. So, well, we might currently be recalculating the background just because the model's changing. And since we depend on dragging, we're drawing that in the background. So maybe we have to move that to a different layer. However, since this is currently happening in this setup phase, and you see, I might have to wait on this because I was going to try and take drag out of that timeline setup. But if we have to multi-layer it, then that doesn't help. Because we will need it. I was thinking making it actually a completely separate thing. Right, but then that means pushing it down to the view, and the view having to figure stuff out from range already. But not having two ranges on there is probably good. Don't update range while dragging. Alright, and then, probably tomorrow we're doing this. It's this one that gets funky. Yeah, it's putting the full thing in there, I think. Okay. What is that? That's like a higher level part of... Is time control this entire thing, or is that just the bar? And we've got our labels up here, and this is all this row? Yes. Um... That's a little bit too much clipping. What the heck? Clip the content if it overflows. So it's technically all overflowing right now? Have you seen a width fill? No, just being held up by its content before? No, that's not it. Do you need a height 20-ish? Apparently you do. Actually, it's more than 20. was like, we don't want height fill. I don't know if anything defines this. Let's see, we can just look at this, right? 28. This is so bizarre. Okay, that doesn't stop it from bumping the layout, though. In fact, it never seems to clip. Maybe it's saying the content is clippable. Not that the thing should be a clipping boundary. Of course, you're just text. But that is an element, and this is an element. No, then it's fine. Now it's just the note that's getting big, isn't it? Okay, yeah, once again, it's being completely clipped. Do you need a height? No, it's more than that. Do you need a width? Oh, yeah, I need a width. Okay, it's still bumping. Now it's invisible and bumping layout. Like define overflow. Would it make any difference? If we just did that. Okay, invisible again. Bumpity bump bump bump. Maybe this entire thing needs to have clip. Where does that take us to? Okay, we've got map, we've got timeline. And sidebar. Completely gone. That's not the right answer. I don't know how big to make it. Yeah. And it doesn't solve the problem either. I'm going to ask around about this one. Alright, so originally we were trying to make this row plus container item. Now, where's the thing I actually want? I wonder if that flux thing is messing up. Okay, local style rules. Okay, so that's our entire text block. It'll get bigger if that gets bigger. Min height, min content. Alright, so is this even possible? Okay, so not that. Okay, so hidden is actually what messes us up. I know what clip does. That continues to be terrible. Is something weird with Fluxbox? Oh. You technically extend all the way over there. Why you do that? Those are the dotted lines that always extend over there. Okay, now those are dotted lines extending off for alignment purposes. The actual boxes seem to be fine. Okay, so that's everything. That's this one little bit. So the entire thing is apparently overflowing. So this has to be something weird with flex. Is there like a flex overflow property? Fixed header section above it. Applied minimum size for flex items. Min height 0. This would be min width. The flex child that has our overflow container. Flex direction column height. Min height. Doesn't really explain which is which. So I'm not sure what element to set this on. Okay, so that's everything. That's this line. That's those. So these are like all elements that are just kind of as wide as they need to be, and these have a full width specification. Well, the column has width fill. So let's try you. Oh, you were doing a height thing. I'm doing a nope. I'm doing a width thing. I need a better explanation of this. Min width the flex item. The aside will start at 2 flex. Aside article. Not to overflow its parent container main. The aside will start at 200, and it won't grow or shrink. The article will start at the width given by the content. Otherwise, it won't shrink. Prevent horizontal overflow. Flex basis 0. A positive flex grow. And then shrink if there isn't enough space. The overflowing div. Auto. Going to take up much more space than desired. So that's the item in the column. Then visible. Correct overflowing content. Flux basis 0. Is flux 1. Okay, so we have main, aside, article. Positive flux shrink, positive flux shrink. I don't know if we have full access to flex here, though. Flux basis 0 pix. Flux basis, well, flux basis 0 pix should be flux basis 0 effectively. Positive flex grow. No. It's like, do I have to go up to the parent? So that's just, this is just that bit. We can test this in here, right? So this entire column. Okay, that's it. Now, does this apply what we think it does? All right, so that's a row, does things next to each other. And it's the two elements, the main view and the sidebar. Okay, so that seems to do it. Huh. I don't know why it wasn't doing that at the lower level. Maybe you had to give something its container row width fill and then clip to that. Anyway. Don't let age name overflow. Oh, and this is where I forgot to update data. Probably too late to do that now. So daily review is not going to get us anything. We would like these selections to be a basis for getting lives. It's not really fully integrated yet, so I need to make sure I do a data update to check sort of standard daily review stuff. Now, I was also figure out what I want the actual behavior of this to be. Oh, since that doesn't update, no, so we're still getting hover. So the server range is actually showing up down here in this available range, even though we're actually going to have more map data. I mean, we might even default to a later position. I'm doing a lot of stuff that clips our time to the bar. To say nothing of other servers. But for a decommissioned server, there's not much point in showing the future. Hmm. So I want to be looking at full integration, just kind of in that was lazy background. But I guess we're at a good enough breaking point for now. I need to remember to update databases next time, so that I can sort of do like a... I mean, this would probably do something. Well, no, because there's no data server at all right now. Yeah, I need to update data. Well, that's what I'm usually on. Depends on how things wrap up, or if we're in the middle of something or not. I don't know how I'm gonna be feeling tonight. If I want to get back to this or nothing or something else. Thanks to the 4 subscribers, volunteer and otherwise. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.